Okay, this is Valverde County, Texas, Del Rio, Texas. And as you look behind me, this is the open borders. It's a great vantage point that we have. If you see over my right shoulder, wide open spaces. Over the left, you pan around here, you see the other side is Mexico. And on this part of the country, in this part of the state of Texas, you do see some illegal alien activity, but mostly what you see is illegal drugs still coming through. The methamphetamine, the fentanyl, marijuana, cocaine, heroin, still making its way into our communities, in through Texas, through the rest of the United States. And so this is what you see, ladies and gentlemen, is wide open borders that we need to secure.
How many miles are we looking at there?
No, that area in Del Rio, Valverde County, there's hundreds of miles of. So one thing is, I want people to understand that we have a lot of natural barriers, canyons, and we don't need to put walls because we don't need them. People don't come up through there. There are certain areas where we know that they come that we would need additional.
Just flat as a pancake.
Yeah, it's just, Hudspeth County, east of El Paso, is wide open. That's where I would love to see some kind of slowdown, because I worked the cases of the backpackers just coming over with drugs, the SUVs driving through the river with very little water. The Rio Grande has very little water there, and just driving through. So I'm going to show you how easy it is, if you wanted to, go into Mexico. I'm standing right now on the Rio Grande River, right here. I'm on the U.S.-Mexico border right now, ladies and gentlemen. There's no Border Patrol agents in sight, but we know that the cartels and the illegal activity is right behind me. They drive SUVs through here full of drugs. They sent the illegal aliens with methamphetamines, fentanyl, pills, you name it. This is the open borders that the Biden administration refuses to acknowledge. I am standing on the river. What you're seeing right now is the Rio Grande River.
So if your estimate is we've got 15 to 18 million people, and DHS, I want to be clear about this. DHS has acknowledged that we've got millions of Venezuelans that have come here, and that Venezuela has emptied their prisons of their murderers, their rapists, their drug addicts. They've emptied their rehab centers and said, we're turning you loose as long as you leave this country and go to the United States. And DHS knows that, and they know they've come here, and they know they've entered the United States. We've processed them in. They come and they've got a passport or whatever from Venezuela. We know that they've come from the prisons and the rehab centers. We process them into America, and we have no idea where they are.
Well, some we do, and I'll give you some locations. By the way, and in addition to that, before I forget, some are coming with an agenda, are being sent. They are Chavistas sympathizers. These are Hugo Chavez people. They're socialist communists, and they're bringing that agenda purposefully in South Florida. In Dallas, Texas, South Dallas, Texas, there's an area called Via Dallas right now that is controlled by illegal alien Venezuelans. You can't go in there. Dallas PD doesn't even go in there. As a matter of fact, they're looking for private security people to try to go in there and contain the trafficking, the drugs, the prostitution, everything that's going on in there. And just like this community in Dallas, there's one in Florida. And they're all around, and it's the gang associated with Tren de Aragua, the gang, the Venezuelan gang that has attached itself to these communities and control these areas here in our country.
Would you say there's over 1 million that have gotten in the United States from Venezuela?
I have to check on that number for you, but I would say close
to 1 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. And that memo, by the way, I'm gonna try to get it to you. It's a memo. It got leaked. DHS admitting that in fact they were releasing them, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it across the country with the crimes that they're committing.
So Venezuela's murder rate is at the lowest it's ever been.
Yes.
because all the murderers have left there and come here.
Yeah.
And we know this. Why is nobody talking about this?
Well, that's the frustrating part. There's very few of us out there trying to do something about it and bring this awareness. Because one of the things I tell people, at least be aware, at least understand. No longer the days of being ignorant and bliss about this. You have to at least acknowledge that you have to know that this happens. One of the struggles I had was with human trafficking. I put a case in my book, a very, very graphic case, because I still got people telling me, "You're crazy, Victor. That doesn't exist." Really? I wish it didn't. I wish that my mind and my eyes can take away the what I've seen, the graphicness of what a person does to a child. But this is real. This is evil.
Well, how can somebody look at you as a special agent with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Homeland Security Investigations, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and say, you don't know? You've spent your life on the border, and you're telling me the cartels are making billions of dollars. I mean, you gave me the example. If they've got 50 that they have smuggled across the border, they've made the money from smuggling them. Then if they can't pay, they're trafficking them. Say they've got 50 that are seeing 30 Johns a day, and say they're making $100 a trick. They're doing it 30 days a month. That's $4.5 million a month. If they've got 50 of them on the street in Minneapolis or Dallas or wherever.
That's 50.
That's 50.
Now, out of the 15 to 18 million illegal, how many are those victims? I can't tell you that. I just know that it's a lot more than 50. And that's why human trafficking has surpassed the drug trade in benefits. It's now human trafficking, then drug trafficking after that.
Because the drugs can get used up, but
and
these victims, they just keep working them day after day after day.
Until they dispose of them.
So if it's 500, it's $45 million a month. If it's 5,000, that's how you're getting into the billions.
Correct.
This border, which we just saw.
Valverde County.
Yeah, Valverde County. There aren't enough agents to cover that, right? You got to do that with helicopters and dogs and.
So there's a confusion right now of we need additional personnel. I always welcome personnel. The more the merrier. The more police, the better for me, for the country. But the answer is no. The answer is we need more border agents to stop this. Actually, no. Actually, the answer is no. We have enough. We have almost 20,000 Border Patrol agents. I think there needs to be a readjustment of those 20,000 Border Patrol agents and the duties of where they're at. Plus, at this point, it doesn't really matter that we have the 20,000 because they're not being allowed to be down there.
They're social workers.
Yeah, they're transporting, hospital watch, everything else that they're making them do. So it is not. But if you were to go back to enforcement, I always welcome more personnel. The more the merrier. But we have enough. And we haven't. You see, there's areas that we don't have to worry about the border, like I said, because nobody comes to there. But the areas that we do know, sometimes in one shift, you have 1 to 5 Border Patrol agents covering a 100-mile span. It's impossible.
Yeah.